we're off.
All right, guys. What's up? How you doing? First of all, my name is Eric Simpson, and welcome to this nice little intro to Vampire, the new edition. So we're going to start off. Basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, some changes in the game, go over some safety stuff, and then start going through everything from beginning to end, more or less. We're going to be embraced tonight. First of all, my name is Eric again. I have been playing role-playing games since I was. Go ahead. Okay. I've been playing role-playing games since I was 8 years old, and I am 48 now. So I've been playing D&D since, I was very young. And I started playing Vampire when it came out, literally. I pulled the book out of the shipment at the game store I worked at in high school and pretty much bought it immediately and fell in love with it. So I've been playing it ever since. So that's my experience more or less as a storyteller, GM. Pretty much at this point, almost a walking encyclopedia of Vampire, which is helpful. Another thing I want to go with everybody, and that is the thing about this newer edition is it's back to its root. It's back to uh, so what I do for my paid games and everything else is I have everybody fill out a consent form of some sort, just so I know what everybody's stuff is, because there are a lot of things that may or may not come up depending on the group. Now, me, I'm pretty laid back. I'm really very much a go with the flow kind of person. I'm pretty casual. But there's always going to be something that's going to come up that I'm not aware of. So when that stuff happens, I want to, if I am aware of it ahead of time, I know to avoid it, if that makes sense. So, on the screen in the, I think it's, yeah, right hand corner, uh, is a deck of cards. And if at any time I say or do something that is upsetting to you to the point where you have to stop the game, just deal the card, and I will stop the game immediately. That's just kind of how that works. Or get my attention in any way that you see fit. All right. So, do we have any questions about that? More or less, because a lot of stuff will come up in this game. It is not nice. It is not fair. You know, uh, it's back to being horrifying again, where you're a monster. So, does anybody have any questions? Everybody understand? Hello?
Yep, it's fine with me. I'm down, let's say, down the rabbit hole, so to speak. So it's fine with me.
Okay. Mad?
And I also understand the usage of the cards, and I also like to think that I'm pretty laid back.
Crystal
Okay.
clear.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has. Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody has their limits, including me, So I just like to, always have communication, open communication at all my tables. Basically, because honestly, all of this stuff kind of boils down to my main philosophy in gaming, and that's just don't be a dick. You know, nobody likes to play with a dick. If you're gonna go around just being a jerk, nobody will play with you. You know, so I mean, basically, yeah, just respect others and don't be a dick, and everything will be fine. Cool.
I think I'm cool.
All right. So,
Cool.
all right, everybody's on board. So, what I like to do first is kind of go around the table. You guys each tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I like to just spend a few minutes letting everybody get to know each other. You know, just a little bit, get a little comfy. Let's start with Yante. Just go ahead and give us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you know, where you live, you know, what your favorite candy bar is, you know, whatever.
All right. Well, I'm Yante. I'm from Europe, if you couldn't tell. My favorite candy bar. I don't want to upset any Americans here because we've got different candy
Don't
bars,
worry, man.
but that's fine.
Dude,
Um,
I love,
yeah,
you know.
it's my first time playing Vampire, and I've been told to not run away from this session, so I'm intrigued.
Well, that's good. Told you not to run away. That makes me feel good. All right, man. Let's go with Gangrel. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How you doing?
All right. So, hello everyone. I am also from Europe, and this is also my first time playing Vampire the Masquerade. Also, it is my second time ever playing a role-playing game. The last occasion being roughly between 1.5 years ago. It was a system called Veil of the Void, and it also was like an introductionary game, like a one-session quick shot. But I'm really excited. My favorite candy bar has to be from my home country. It's a chocolate-covered cottage cheese kind of sweet bar, which is really nice.
That sounds interesting. Wow, that would probably, you know, I bet that go over big in Canada. They love cheese curds over there.
Yeah.
Like I said, that sounds good, actually. Yeah, give me a brand name later. All right, Boogie Bear. Tell us a little
Okay.
bit about yourself.
Of course, I am Bogdan, as people will have found out already. I'm also from Europe, from Finland specifically. My favorite candy bar, well, I do everything, love everything that Karl Fudzer does. It's our local brand of chocolates, candy bars, whatever you want to call them. I have been playing Vampire for a while, but I have had a very long hiatus. I was involved in a live roleplay experiment that was carried out on Facebook and Google Hangouts before, but that thing died. So I've been loving World of Darkness overall for a very, very long time. And yes, I am very, very excited about playing a monster again.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot has changed in the game as they fast forwarded it. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the changes from previous editions. Just a tad. If you guys look at the Roll20 table, you should see kind of a big picture that it's a list of all the different available clans, which is, the original 13 clans and uh, Thin Bloods and Katif also. Thin Bloods are kind of cool. But basically, more or less, what they did is move the timeline forward from like the 2000s, you know? So V20 is completely skipped. Now we have V5, where, first of all, the Second Inquisition is live and well and going on, more or less because the Nosferatu were screwing around with the internet and ShrekNet. The Masquerade was breached in a huge way. It's been completely pierced now. So the NSA The Catholic Church, all those orders are actively hunting and killing a shitload of vampires. So, like, for instance, London has been completely cleared out of every single vampire because of the British intelligence and so on, all throughout the world. Another thing is that happened is that the main Tremere Chantry in Vienna was drone striked, and the entire top of the pyramid is gone, dead, including Tremere himself, all of them dead, just flat out. So the Tremere have completely changed too. The other big event is that Gehenna is going on right now. The only thing that they did is that instead of just flat out ending it like they did before, they've stretched Gehenna over a vampiric scale. So it could take 100 years, it could take 1,000 years, we don't know. But the antediluvians are awake and doing their stuff. So, in the process, basically, the blood has changed. It's thinned down. So the time of thin blood has happened, and we're in the end times, more or less. So, the other big events is that the Clan Brujah, Theo Bell, shot Hardstat straight in the face and with a shotgun, so ended him. And the Brujah and the Gangrel, who are already gone, gave the Camarilla the finger and went to the built up the Anarchs. And so the Anarch Free State has spread all over the place. The Sabbat is dead and depraved as hell now. I mean, depraved as hell. It's a lot of fun. So the Banu Hakim, the Assamites, joined the Camarilla. The Lasombra saw what their clan was becoming and was like, okay, we're done with that, and walked away from the Sabbat and joined the Camarilla. So the Lasombra are part of the Camarilla now. Whereas the Setites, or now they're the Ministry, have joined the Anarchs full-fledged. Then you've got the Hakata, who were the Giovanni, but the younger Giovanni got sick of them and murdered, everybody and Augustus and all them. So now it's one big happy family of all the different necromancer types joining together. The Ravnos are there. Salubri, who are one of the original 13 clans, are around and spreading. There's more than 7 of them now. Those are some of the big changes. But the other thing that's pretty important is that the elders are being called back to the antediluvians, so the antediluvians can feed on the blood of their children. So all the elders were beckoned to the Middle East or other places, and nobody knows why. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on, and then everything kind of builds from there. So what do you guys think? Got any questions?
Well, it's
Hello?
yes, it is. I would say it's from me who I have played before. It's definitely a different perspective and an interesting twist.
Yeah, I really like it. I like what they've done with the clans. And they've also made all the banes, all the curses mechanically enforceable, which is nice. So, Yante, Gangrel,
I've got a question, yeah.
go ahead, shoot.
Why is everyone pronouncing it Camarilla since last week?
Since last week?
Yeah. Or is it just me?
No. I'd never even noticed that I do that personally. I say both, and I think we just always do.
Oh,
I
okay.
just never noticed it. Wow, you're right. We do say both. That's funny. Yeah, so it's same thing, But yeah, Gangrel, any thoughts, questions?
No, not currently. None that come to mind.
Mhm. So, yeah, vampires are kind of have gone underground for their own survival. So the masquerade is even more strictly enforced. People don't use electronic means to communicate very much because they can be found very easily. So they're back to doing old, like Cold War dead drops and spying and hiding, symbols on buildings that only Kindred know of. Things like that. So everything is really, really, really on the down low. But you still have the shadow war that goes on between the Anarchs and the Camarilla. So, yeah, that's the kind of situation. More or less, while there are those kind of pillar clans of the Camarilla, because all the elders are gone, all of like the children are now having to be prince and everything else. So the whole game is, yeah, been shifted back down to that lower power level, real horror of being the beast. So that morality play that is every vampire game of the evil within everybody and the goodness within everybody taken to just complete extremes with how it works now. And we can get into some of that later. But uh, more or less, what we're going to do is I want you guys to think of just a regular person. Think of your character as just a regular Joe going about whatever they do. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Toledo. And I want you guys to feel free to jump in whenever you want. Uh, you know, Keep everything open. So if at any time you want to jump in and ask something or say anything, go right ahead. Don't hesitate. But does everybody kind of understand what I mean? Like think of an occupation, uh, that sort of thing. Everybody get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just take that as a yes all around.
It is one.
All right.
Yes.
So Toledo, Ohio, is an interesting place. I lived there for 20 years, and during that time, I ran several large-scale LARPs. So I've got about 20 years of game history in a bunch of notebooks. So I have all of my games are set in Toledo, Ohio. I've kind of created a big thing there. But Toledo as a city is very, very strange. It's the weirdest place I've really ever lived in, and I've lived across the country here in America. So the weird thing about Toledo is that it is very literally complete polar opposites right next to each other and crammed very, very close together. So in the residential areas, like the houses are less than 10 feet apart in a lot of places because it's been built over since the 1700s, very early in America's history. So as an example, you could be walking down a typical residential street and go up for like maybe 2 blocks, and all of those houses will be white picket fences, manicured lawns, better homes and gardens. I mean, your typical, dream American thing. And then you'll walk over and cross the street to the next block, and that block will be like a demilitarized zone, basically. A bunch of dilapidated houses, crack houses. I mean, the whole nine. Just really bad area. And then that'll last about 4 blocks. Then you cross the street and get into like mansions, basically old school, giant Tudor mansions. So that's kind of the dichotomy all throughout Toledo. Have you guys ever heard the expression "Holy Toledo"?
No.
You guys ever heard? No?
I can't
Okay.
say that.
Okay. Basically, it's just something that it's pretty popular in America where people just kind of say "Holy Toledo." It's just like an exclamation. and it comes from the fact that Toledo, Ohio has more churches per capita than anywhere else in America, and I think the world, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But more or less, you cannot walk more than maybe 3 or 4 blocks without running smack into a church. And then usually right next to that church is like a bar, you know? So it's that dichotomy of all these things right next to each other. And of course, you have some of your typical areas like downtown. And downtown is a mixture of both modern buildings and really, really old buildings that are constantly being renovated all downtown. Now, there's also a very popular TV show called MASH. And in this, it's a show about an American Army unit, and it's a comedy, an Army medical unit. And there's one guy in there, his name is Corporal Klinger. And Corporal Klinger is trying to get sent out of the military on a Section 8 psychiatric discharge. So he's trying to make everybody think he's crazy, but nobody believes him. So he's always dressed in drag. He's always wearing women's clothing. But the guy who plays that character, right, and he he went right in. Eat and post hot dogs now. So throughout the world, what they do is famous people that come in, old presidents, but just are signed. Uh, and throughout there, over the years, they have since taken a lot of those mansions and made them duplexes or condos or turn them into apartments. So that neighborhood, everybody knows everybody. It's a very open, very nice neighborhood. Everybody knows one another. It's also where the kind of art and theater crowd live, and the LGBTQ community all live, have always been really open. There's a parade every year. That's a tradition in Toledo. And it's a town and place where on weekends people will leave their door open, and everybody goes from like porch to porch and just drinks wine and relaxes. So it's very nice community. College kids, and then you've got like an area called the East Side, which has a reputation among Toledo of being the bad part of town. But for me personally, I grew up in Compton, South Central Los Angeles in the 80s. So it's pretty mild for me. But it has that reputation not because the entire East Side is bad, but because there is about a 5 by 5 block area that is where almost all the East Side crime is concentrated. So if you can think of just concentrated crime in one area, that is the East Side once you get over the bridge. Uh, that is kind of the major areas, but if you can honestly think of any lifestyle, middle class, lower class, really rich people, they're all in Toledo. So, yes, you can find a little bit of everything, and that's what makes it kind of unique and weird at the same time. So, what do you guys think of Toledo? Let's go around the table, get some ideas for your people. Sound good?
Well, I'll be brave enough to start. I think it's actually very diverse,
There we go.
and the thing is, my character would definitely fit Toledo. It's a very sounds like a very open place, at least areas you mentioned. So he would definitely fit. Like open-minded person, um, let's say challenging everything, trying to be all the be there in the middle of it. So I guess yeah, he would definitely fit.
All right. Yeah. It's a place where honestly everybody's really friendly, you know? It's pretty odd. It's almost like a Texas friendly, where like everybody says hi to each other, you know, and no matter what their class. So yeah, it's a pretty open and friendly place, which is somewhat surprising for the Rust Belt, you know. Um, Gangrel, let's start with you. Let's go,
Yes.
or yeah, tell us a little bit about what you think of Toledo, and if you want, go ahead and tell us about your guy and what he does, your little concept you've come up with. So go ahead, Gangrel.
Okay, so I also like the first time hearing about Toledo. It sounds really like everything is you can find everything here. What you if you look for something, you can find it here. Basically, is my impression. And as you started talking about it, I'm also looking at the Google Maps version of the city, and I kind of I'm a bit malleable on my concept so far, but I had a hunch that my character is somewhere around the water near the waters near the port.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little bit out there, but yeah, definitely near the Fort Wayne.
Not the
Uh,
fort, the port near the
Port.
docks.
Okay, yeah, that's close to downtown. A little bit of the east side, at least the historic nice part of the east side, right, as you cross the bridge. But that's the kind of area around there. There's also a lot of there's a big residential area around the port. It's kind of weird because a lot of it is under bridges, you know? They have these
Mhm.
big, like, drawbridges. I mean, old school bridges. And there's all these houses built underneath that in a freeway. So that's kind of that area. Really strange. But yeah. All right. All right, let's go to Yante. What do you think?
Um, yeah. So I think my character would definitely say "Holy Toledo" at every opportunity possible. Yeah.
Well, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go around again, and you guys just tell me about you as a person, your character as a person. What do they do? Where do you think they would live in Toledo? What kind of house? Basically, because we're gonna start off here. It's a typical Saturday night, about 9 or 10 o'clock. Could you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
it's about 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, so everybody's off work and ready to go do their evening thing. So, Bogey, tell us a little bit about your character. What do they look like? A little bit about your person.
Right. So my character is actually called Alexander Warren. Not to go too much into detail with his story because I usually tend to go into very deep details when I make characters. He's half American, half European. So mother was European, father was American. Currently, he is a rather strange. Well, not strange. He's a independent journalist, so to speak, wannabe independent journalist. He runs a blog and a social media channel on whatever social media platforms he might be using. He is what you would call a truth seeker, not a conspiracy theorist, but he seeks to find the truth, kind of see the world from both sides of any situation, be it a war, a political debate, question what the mainstream media would say, trying to find facts to deliver them to his audience. His main income, I guess, would be writing here and there for some magazines, but also he would live off social media, Patreon donation, people, let's say a bit of a following he might have. That's pretty much how he makes his living. Well, out of the people in his life, well, yes, he is. I don't know. I suppose he could be called charismatic and so on, but not exceedingly so. He's a plain Caucasian man, dark haired, uh, a bit unshaven, pretty much quite a lot like me, actually. And he is more on the intellectual side. Like, yes, he will not be, physically, he will not be the buff guy out there, but yeah, he's on the average side. Um, I guess his distinctive feature, yeah, would be the gray blue eyes. Everybody kind of who knows him might say that he has a unique eye coloration, and he has, let's say, three important persons in his life. He has a girlfriend he lives with, and then a friend and an uncle who kind of got him inadvertently got him started on the path of digging out the truth and everything else. So yes, where would he live in Toledo? I suppose any middle class area, good area, would be fine where he could afford paying the rent. I mean, social media doesn't make it that much money, but on a Saturday night he'd be probably either going out or sitting at home, checking out his, viewership, comments on his posts, on his videos, maybe spend some time with his girlfriend. He's a pretty normal person otherwise.
Uh, I got a perfect place for you. In the Old West End, you can find affordable apartments, and a lot of the people, individuals who own the houses and apartments will rent to you easier. So you could actually find a good place in the Old West End in that community. So we'll start you off there. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Really interests you. What do you want to try out?
Um, in what way? I mean, try out.
In general. No, in general. What clan interests you?
I did send you a
Just in
couple of
general.
well, I sent you when I sent you that document
Uh-huh.
three choices.
Yeah.
Malkavian, definitely. I don't know if it fits. You're still feel free to surprise me. Brujah or Hecata seemed interesting, but you can
Okay.
also come up
Okay.
with a surprise choice. So
Okay, I'll play around with it. You know, first of all, you thought of all the actual, like, real important stuff. You know, who's your girl, your girlfriend. I mean, very good. I honestly, kudos, man. Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Uh, yeah, I'm looking at everybody's character sheets too, and that's what I like to see. That's the stuff. All right. Yante, tell us a little bit about your guy. Is it Hank Flintstone?
Yeah, that's Hank.
Kind of dig him. I dig him.
Yeah,
Like that
Hank.
picture.
Thanks. Yeah, so Hank, he's, an honest man making an honest living in the Rust Belt. He's a bouncer at the Crazy Water Garage, which is, for kids, but it's really popular, so they need a bouncer to keep all the kids in line. So yeah, I think he would like live in somewhere in the suburbs, living off the generational wealth. And yeah, he's living with his wife, I guess, who's his touchstone.
But the South End has some good middle class. A bad suddenly, and now
I didn't catch most of that because of the robot voice, but yeah, South End sounds good.
what just happened?
You were cutting out pretty severely.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
hello.
No.
Okay, you guys can hear me? Okay, that was really
Yeah.
strange. Just Discord just crashed for no reason. But where were we?
I think you offered me South End.
Oh yeah, we're figuring out where you live. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, there's I mean, yeah, you can find a nice residential area in the South End. It's kind of close to downtown and right near the zoo, probably about 5 minutes away. And the closer you get to like the zoo, the nicer it gets. And then all the way down to where all the mayor's mansion and all the senators live and stuff. So that's kind of that area. All right, Gangrel, tell us a little bit about your guy. What do they do?
All right. So I will tell you some the things that I love. So my character's name is Alfred Garrett, and he's I'm a bit feeling myself around him as of yet, but he's from a bit of a high-end family, and he's once currently is on a mission to prove himself, maybe get a bit more independent. He wants some independence. He's got tired of not necessarily tired, but he wants to try himself out in the world, and that's why he moved near the harbor, or I believe, or not necessarily the harbor, but the voters just kind of invited him some way to do some trading or business. I don't not I'm not familiar with the opportunities there. He's dating, but nothing committed as of yet, and he has, I believe, a few close friends from his family relations.
Okay. Where did you work again? What was the name?
The name is Alfred Garrett.
Okay. Okay. Alfred. So kind of your standard middle class guy.
Yes.
And you wanted to be down by the docks.
Well, I can let I put myself in your hands in this regard because
Okay, well,
he's
I was going to put you down there because there's a nice middle class area, but like I said, it's near one of those bridges. But they're actually really nice houses. It's a really nice area. Like I said, it's only drawback are those bridges. But yeah, a place in there. Okay, sound good. And yeah, what clan are you interested in? What clan appeals to you?
well, my first clan is Wenshru, definitely, and I thought of maybe La Sombra and Toreador as well, but
Okay. What about you down for being a La Sombra?
yes.
All right. That sounds good. La Sombra. And sorry, Levente, I didn't ask.
I'll be
didn't ask
arcade
you.
if that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Also, are the Mud Hens still playing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Hank will be a big fan of that. Oh, you're cutting out again.
Hello?
Hello?
Gosh, I don't know what's up with Discord today. Yeah, so yeah, big Mud Hens fan. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, Alexander, what do you want to do with this evening? How do you start? You're off of work, ready to start a weekend night. So, what do you do?
Well, since most of the work is done remotely, and as I write articles for various magazines and newspapers, and I uh, try to work with my social media stuff, I'd be probably sitting by the computer trying to review my, I don't know, latest comments, reviews, and people insulting my questioning of mainstream media. I'd be sitting in, well, what's basically a table in the living room that doubles as an office, and try to finally pull myself away from the computer. I guess Emma would be waiting, telling me that, like, hey, if you've worked enough, come on, let's go out, let's do something, let's cook, let's have dinner. Because I had been so stuck into it, into my work, that I just, for almost the whole Saturday, I didn't move away. Even though it's a weekend day, I shouldn't be doing anything. But I guess pulling in the overtime with the latest investigative stint or latest scoop that I have kind of sucked me into it, and that would be pretty much getting close to pulling away from that and starting a quiet evening after a full day not moving away from the computer, more or less. Why does she put up with me? I have no idea why she puts up with me. But, well, she's a good girl, she does, and, I care for her. I try to provide for her as the best as I can. Independent journalism doesn't make much money, but it makes something. And I'm just hoping to land the big next thing I can debunk and question and pull out the truth for. Pretty much, that's my passion. It's my job, and I guess she stuck around with me for my passion. She likes the fact that I'm so passionate about what I'm doing.
So you're taking her out for the evening, I take it?
I suppose we could go out.
Is
Yeah,
that what I...
yeah. I mean, there are some probably nice, quiet bars nearby. There's nothing really planned because didn't really take my time to plan. So since, well, yeah, it's late evening, we haven't eaten. Let's go grab a bite at the nearby bar. That sounds like a good enough way to go for the evening. So the laptop's shut down, lid is closed, and I'm slowly moving to change clothes from whatever I'm wearing indoors to my usual casual outfit. So nothing really standing out, but it will work in a bar. I'm not going to a five-star Michelin five-star restaurant or whatever.
Yeah. There's a couple of really popular bars around the old West End. One of them is downtown. It's called Roosters, and they've got live bands there all the time. So that's one joint. A little bit downtown, there is that's where all the kind of higher class martini bars are, and then right next to those high class martini bar is a big old college kid bar, and then the Mud Hen Stadium. So right around that area, there's kind of a little bit of everything. So that's an option. Right down at the docks, there's also where the very high class restaurants are. So you've got a little bit of a choice in that whole area there, right around your house.
I mean, our wallets, let's say, our finances are not doing that well. I mean, she works probably as, I don't know, a receptionist or something like that. So I guess we can go to one of the eateries nearby, the high-end martini bars, if they serve food. It's a good nice to way to spend the evening in something else than just your regular diner, I suppose. And downtown is like very rare thing because we're
Okay.
trying to save up. So
Um, yeah, there's a couple different places like that. There's actually a really popular pizza place that serves, it's the only place in Toledo that serves Chicago style pizza. And it's here for a pizza joint. I mean, yeah, they'll give you a martini with your pizza kind of thing. It's a cool place, but yeah, you guys, it's down near the stadium and downtown. So while it is nice, it's also not horribly expensive. It really isn't. A couple people can eat on like 30, $40. So yeah, you guys, does that sound like a place you would want to go?
yeah,
Take your
definitely.
girlfriend?
Yeah, definitely. And downtown is not so bad. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you guys head out to Pizzapopolis is the name of it. Uh, it's right down near the Mudhead Stadium. And it's like I said, you'll walk in. There's a jukebox right as you walk in. There's a bunch of tables that are very nice wood tables. So it's not quite a dingy pizza place like most of them are. It's not like a Pizza Hut, but I mean it's a nice restaurant, and the wait staff is busy. It's not a horribly busy night, so there's not a lot of people in there. And when you guys walk in, the hostess seats you down, asks you for drinks, and you guys are sitting at a table, and of course, there are booths around, and there are a couple of different couples sitting in booths
hmm
near you. And we will put a pin in that moment and move on to Alfred. Alfred, what do you want to do tonight? What is Alfred? What is he up to?
Okay, so uh, I mentioned my friends who I'm pretty close to. We are basically grew up together, and I believe planned we had plans together. Maybe you mentioned it's already 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 9 or 10, roughly in there.
Yes. So we went to do some sport club activities, and then we had hit up some bar to uh, unwind and relax. That.
Okay, what kind of bar do you go to? What are you in the mood for?
Um, I I think we're in the mood for a few shots and then beer to roll to relax with it as well and have some talks. What is going on with our lives and how was our weeks, stuff like that.
Okay. What I mean is, like, I mean, do you want to go to like a restaurant, like a Chili's, or do you want to go to a bar, a dive bar, or a nice bar, or that
Well,
kind of thing?
maybe a nice bar which has some food options as well, but not necessarily a restaurant.
Uh, yeah. I mean, Pizza Populous is an option. There's
Mhm.
also, uh, let's see, there's a sports bar down there. That's an option. Um, College kids. What else is down there? A couple of just kind of random restaurants down near the courthouse. But yeah, so pizza, wings, or like deli, basically is what's open.
We go for wings.
Wings, all right. So yeah, you head on over to a place called Frickers that has all the frickin' chicken you can eat, and you taking your wife, right?
No, I go with my friend.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Your friend from work, I take it.
Uh, well, yes, my friend from work, but we also grew up together,
Okay.
so he's like a closer friend.
Okay. So, yeah. Call him. No, not Hank. Uh, Robert. There you go. So, you and your friend, old friend Robert, decide, yeah, let's go out and get some wings. You head on over to Frickers. It's right next to the Mud Hen Stadium, and in the yeah, there's a bunch of TVs on with a bunch of different sports. It's basically got a bunch of really high tables and really high stools
Mhm.
that are actually comfy, but that you sit in around the table. Uh, of course, there's several, wait staff and everything else. There you walk in and get seated down. And she takes your order, gets everything ready. It's not a horribly busy night, but it's not dead either. So it's just kind of a mix of people there. There's some people from downtown looking like they just got out of work at the courthouse, so they're in suits, and then there's some random kids in there eating wings and stuff. All right.
Sounds good. Yes.
All right, so we'll put a pin in you for that moment. And Hank, Mr.
Yeah.
Hank Flintstone. What is Hank up to tonight? What does he feel like doing? Is he
Um,
working?
yeah, he could be working, I guess. Um, or maybe he'd be also going out for pizza at the Pizza Populis place
That sounds good. Awesome. Yeah. Um,
with his wife, I guess. Lisa.
all right. Going out with your wife, taking her out to Pizza Populis. It's a big evening because middle class people can have big evenings. Kind of cool, they have cheap points like Pizza Populis, Yeah, we got
Yeah.
you're out at, same thing. You're seated down. There is, a couple of there, and Alexander is there, and Alfred is a few blocks away at Frickers. Wow, everybody's downtown in the same area. It's nuts. Cool. So I'm gonna stretch and run to the restroom real quick, and then we'll pick up from there. Sound good?
All right.
And I like to let everybody kind of stretch out, every now and then too.
Yep.
So just take like a couple seconds. I'll be right back, okay? All right. Everybody set? Everybody there?
Yep.
Yes.
Present and accounted for.
All right. So, let's go to Frickers, and then we'll move over to Pizzapopolis. So, Alfred,
Yes.
you are there with your wife.
No, with my friend Robert.
I'm sorry. Yes, I have that written down. It's just everybody else is out with their wife. So, yeah, you and Robert are having fun. Got some beers and some wings, which actually their wings are pretty good, and pretty cheap too. They have they get you a bucket of beers and all that. And in the corner, you happen to notice, as soon as I get the picture, a guy who looks about like that. If it'll move. There we go. Get a picture of what he looks like?
Yes.
All right. Is there with what looks like his girlfriend, and he's kind of side-eyeing you. Him and his girlfriend are you and your friend Robert as you're eating. But they start to stand out to you a little bit. They get that feeling of somebody's watching you.
They notice it out of the corner of my eye. That.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Basically. So how do you play this off?
Well, I try to look at him and see if I recognize him from somewhere. I assume that my first assumption is that maybe he knows me from someplace.
All right. So, this is where we're going to get into the rules a little bit. So, everybody take a look at your character sheets. Do you guys all have them in front of you?
The online one or the one I have for myself?
And what I want to draw sections character and it's all broken out to you as a social and message. You go straight on the they're categorized that way. Now, every single roll you will ever make in this game is always going to be an attribute plus something, and usually it's a skill. Okay? And that determines what you can do. More or less, you say, let's say you're going to punch somebody. All right? You say, I want to punch somebody, and then I'll say, give me a strength plus brawl roll. And then you look at the dots that you have in those categories. So each dot is a 10-sided die. And on the 10-sided die, what you're looking to do is get successes. And a success is a 6 or above on a 10-sided die. Or if you have the cool vampire dice that they have out, it makes it really, really easy to figure out. So what you do is form your dice pool from attribute and something else. Let's say you have 5 dice, are 5 dots, which gives you 5 dice in your dice pool. Then you take and roll it and count up how many successes you get. So let's say in this case you roll 5 dice and you get 3 successes. Okay. From there, I give you a difficulty number, and you have to meet or exceed that difficulty number in successes. So let's say I give you a difficulty of 2, and you rolled 3 successes. So you succeeded because you rolled 2 successes. Then, from that point, the extra successes allow you to kind of see how cool you look doing it, more or less. And the more successes, you do, the more kind of effective and cool you look doing it. You guys get that?
Yes. The first part was a bit crashing on Discord, but I know I got the gist of it, of the rolling.
Okay. All right. So, and then that's it. That's the whole game. That's the entire game system. Every single thing in this game is based around that single kind of core mechanic. So, you're never going to have more than 10 dice. So, yeah, math is simple. Count to 10 and count the dots. And now those are your rolls. Now, let's say you want to do combat. Instead of having a difficulty number, and I tell you to roll it, you'll be rolling against somebody else. So let's say you and another player, for instance. And one player, we'll call him player A, wants to punch him. So he's going to use strength and brawl. And the other guy, player 2, is going to shoot him. So he has a dice pool of his dex and his firearms. And let's say that player 1, who's punching, has a dice pool of 5, and the shooting person has a dice pool of, let's say, 6. And they each roll it, and they count up the total number of successes they get. And whoever gets the most successes, their thing happens. So, let's say the guy with the gun rolls 4 successes, and the punching guy rolls 1. Well, the one of those successes is canceled out because you win, the shooting guy wins. And then everything that's left over, those extra successes that every other time allow you to look cool, each one is a point of damage. For your power, because you can clean socially too. All the other mechanics are entirely built off of that. So that's how actually simple this game is. And most, games when you sit down and think about it. But, yeah, so what does everybody think about that? Does everybody kind of understand? Just want to go around the table and, see what everybody thinks. So,
clear for me. I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Now it's pretty clear, yes.
Yep. Everything's clear.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys that have played previous editions, what do you think of that? Because I think it's a lot simpler because
It was
all of the other rules. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying that the older rules were quite complicated, especially in combat. It really prolonged things, and I didn't really like it that much. So yeah, they are similar but different in a better way, so to speak.
Yeah. The other thing is that this game is also the game is now pretty heavy on the advantages. Backgrounds, merits, lore sheets, all that stuff. Plays a bigger part in the game than it used to. As far as the mechanics go, everything being built off of that, they just took the Requiem system and simplified it even more. And yeah, it's just, now you roll and do the thing, and that's it. So it's a lot more fun, and it flows a lot better. So yeah. So what we're gonna do now is go back around, continue the story, and I'm gonna make you guys roll some dice. Sound good? This is the fun part.
Hell yeah, let's go.
All right. So in the Pizzapopolis, yeah, that dude is there. What I want you to do is make a wits plus alertness roll. And how you do that on this character sheet is you click awareness, and it'll bring up a box. And then you add your wits when in the drop down, and then it'll ask you for extra dice. You say, put 0. It'll ask you for a difficulty, and the difficulty is 2. So yeah,
where can I find the awareness part?
if you look on your character sheet on the front page,
Yes.
if you click on the awareness skill.
Oh yes, I found it. Yes. And what is the second
and then it's going to give you yeah, you click on that, wits and awareness. So just select wits and then click next until it goes out.
And yes, okay. Difficulty is 2.
Yes, difficulty is 2. Yeah. Wow. Oh, you have no dots on your sheet.
I do not have dots on my sheet, yes. I just realized.
Here. Go under pregens and just click open Catif pregen and you'll have some dots, okay?
Where is that, pregens?
It is in the journal underneath player tools and shit.
It's a folder next to a character where you have it.
If you click the plus sign where it says pregens, it'll open up everything underneath. And then if you click the one that says Catif pregen, it'll give you dots. Yeah. Do you see it?
Oh yes, I found journal, but yeah, okay, I got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then just do that roll, except this time you have dots.
Yes, okay. It will be easier. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it usually does. Usually makes it yeah. Let's see what you got here.
Go back to chat.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you notice he is trying to be subtle, but it's not exactly working. You still get a little, uncomfy.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Your friend looks over at you and just kind of says, "What, man? What's wrong? What are you looking at?"
I noticed this guy a few tables away, and he's kind of creeping me out. I don't know if I know him from somewhere. It doesn't seem to ring a bell.
He says, "Huh? That is weird." And then he finishes off one of his beers and pulls another one out of the bucket. He's been pounding them pretty hard, so it looks like he's already getting drunk. And he's like, so what? What if a guy's looking at you?
I don't know. He seems kind of weird looking at me. I believe he also has a companion with him, so I don't know what he's looking for.
And your friend kind of just half-ass pays attention and then tries to flag down the waitress to get more wings. And yeah, and then you look back over at him, and he is now he goes from side-eyeing you to straight looking you in the eyes. And then we're gonna move over to Pizza Popolis. All right. So,
Yep.
Dante, Gangrel,
Yeah.
you got it. All right. You guys are, yeah, you're in Pizza Popolis, and in there, you see there's a college couple out, and the person that stands out the most to you out of that couple is this girl, who is very out of place with her kind of jockish boyfriend, and Alexander.
Yep.
Make sure I got this right. Okay. And okay, ignore the background. Okay, this isn't cyberpunk. But yeah, a guy dressed somewhat like that is out with his lady friend, who also very much stands out,
And
just like the other girl.
Okay, so that's what we noticed. Okay.
Yes. So basically, the restaurant's pretty open except for those two couples sitting there uh, enjoying, I guess, themselves. The little goth girl looks like she's trying to smile, but isn't very happy with her date. And the other couple look like they're very deep into some sort of intellectual debate type conversation. So it's relatively, quiet. Everybody's eating and enjoying themselves. So, Alexander, you're out with your girlfriend, and
Yep.
that's what you notice. So,
I mean, I would definitely look at them. Okay, so the goth girl and the jockish guy. My first assumption: Tinder date, probably not going the way it's supposed to. For the girl, at least, she doesn't seem too happy, but at least I guess she's trying. And the intellectual couple, okay, the guy, okay, he maybe looks passable. I mean, he's pretty fancily dressed, but she's definitely looking like she's, I don't know, some sort of dark bride or something like that. Well, with a veil and everything. But yeah, of course, like being a man, I would look at her for a moment. Well, okay, she's definitely good looking, but I'm out with my girlfriend. She, I would linger on her for a second, and then I would just turn to Emma and talk about my latest article that may or may have not gone well, or may have gotten bad reviews, and we're otherwise just having a nice evening, chatting and eating the big ass Chicago style pizza and having some drinks to go with it. I would.
uh, yeah.
That's what I would be doing. I mean, yeah, sure, they're out of place, but there's weirdos everywhere, right? What you gonna do?
Right, exactly. It's Toledo, so, like I said, relatively normal. Weird opposites right next to each other, no matter what you do. um, so there's that. Yeah, your girlfriend. You guys are having a good conversation. Do you go into kind of what theory you were espousing in any way?
Yeah, I
Like when
mean,
you're going over
yeah,
when you're going over stuff?
I suppose so. I would say I would be picking on some, I don't know, either let's say I don't know, latest news related from I don't know internal politics, like some law that I'm not agreeing with, and I think there's something more to it, and I'm trying
Okay,
to
yeah.
giving her kind of the fact that I think there's something fishy about it, like it doesn't sound right, you know. It's a democratic country, and this whole shit sounds really bad. And at some point, I get a bit passionate about it, but nothing like to draw attention to myself. Just you know, trying to talk to let's say my better half
Yeah.
about how I'm feeling about it, and uh, nothing really out of the ordinary. I would be just nodding, smiling, eating. Trying to make it look casual, even though clearly my spirits have kind of lit up, so to speak, because I know I'm right about something and I have some proof. But even though my, let's say, proof maybe got a few beatings from people who disagreed and were like, "Yeah, this is amazing, mainstream media's right," and so on. Uh, Kind of got a few hits of it. I just continued on because I'm a bit, I'm a little relentless, and I guess that's one of the other qualities why Emma stuck with me, even though I'm technically two steps away from being a deadbeat making money out of social media, but I'm trying at least.
All right. So, what we're going to do is technically we are going to make a social attack. And you're going to basically go off into describing it and going to try to keep her attention to see if she drifts off, or if she's actually fascinated with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So roll your charisma, and because you're talking about, stuff that call it academics. So yeah, charisma and academics, and roll
Okay.
that, and she's going to roll her die,
I guess no
and we'll
extra
see who gets the
dice.
most.
Yeah, no extra dice.
Correct. And doesn't matter what difficulty you put, really. I can read the dice.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you win by one. Woohoo!
I wish dating was
So
this
yeah,
easy.
she's listening to you, and she's actually holding a pretty good conversation. So, I mean, yeah, she's kind of fascinated with what you're saying. And another thing that you do notice is that the well-dressed gentleman with the woman, when you start going on talking about your theory and views, and you start going off into that conversation, you notice that he just kind of looks over at you and is listening to you also, and kind of really looks like he, is also kind of drawn into your conversation as you get kind of passionate, and so he's kind of looking at you with a you know uh, fascinated, kind of inquisitive look on his face, like he's really concentrating on what you have to say. And Hank, Hank, you're out with the wife eating pizza populus.
Yeah.
And what are you doing?
I think my wife's trying to cheer me up because the Toledo Mud Hens have lost the game. So I'm kind of upset at this. So yeah. While I'm
All
eating,
right.
I'm just complaining about, the things that went wrong during the game.
All right. Yeah, she is used to hearing you bitch. about the mud hens.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of, yeah, hon, I know mud hens. Uh-huh. Yeah,
I mean,
the
they
first,
put
yep, first
Tony on
base
the
stuff.
bench.
Yeah, and she's just like, uh-huh, and just will keep drinking margaritas, uh, that
No
kind of
offense,
that
honey,
kind of
but
vibe.
yeah,
And when what I want you to do now is make a wits plus awareness roll, and your difficulty is going to be 2.
awesome. I think I've got plenty of dice for that.
Oh, good, awesome. So, you look over past your wife, and as you're bitching about the mud hens and everything, the girl out on a date you notice is checking you out
The
while
one
she
that's dressed as
while
a
the other
goth.
guy while just completely bored as shit with her date. She's actually like checking you out, like sizing you up.
Okay. I kind of go, oh, honey, would you look at this? I mean, look what the kids today are wearing. I mean, I'm kind of scared what our kids are going to be like, you know?
And she's just like, yeah, uh-huh. Drinks a bit of a margarita. I know, hon. The mud hens. So kind of no matter what you're saying, she's just like,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah, hon. And then the mud hens, fuck the mud hens. And you could be saying like, what's the weather like? Fuck the mud hens. I know, hon.
Can
So
I go to the bathroom? Can
yeah,
Hank go? Okay.
you can get up and go to the bathroom, definitely.
Okay, can
She's
Hank
like,
go?
yeah,
Yeah.
hon. And she orders a couple more margaritas, and is munching the pizza, just getting, you know, day wasted, like, housewife wasted
Awesome.
at the table there. So yeah, you get up and go to the bathroom,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and then we'll put a pin in that and go back over to Frickers, where the music is louder and sports are everywhere, and boobies, because the waitresses there get more tips if there's boobies, and yeah, that's the atmosphere, and um, you're there with your friend who's still getting drunk, and that guy definitely checking you out. Uh, then he as you basically catch his eyes, uh, you are immediately drawn to them and kind of lock eyes with him momentarily. So another kind of big change in Vampire is kind of in a way to balance out the whole having to hide or you'll die thing. A lot of the mental and uh, you know social kind of disciplines just automatically work on mortals now. So, like when you use dominate on a mortal, it'll just work. There's a lot of different stuff like that because, yeah, they played up the monster part. You know, they're your food basically. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go kind of around and narrate what's gonna happen next for everybody. All right. Everybody down with that? Sound good?
Yeah,
I'm good.
good.
All right. So, um, as you're sitting there and you look over, you just hear in your head, "Come here," and you get up and just start walking over to that guy, And as you're walking over, your friend just kind of looks at you funny, like, "Hey, dude, where you going? Where you going, man?" And as you're walking towards him, you notice that the, usually very, very bright frickers starts getting very, very, very dark. And it almost, as the shadows from everywhere in the restaurant just start to coalesce around you. And as you start to kind of, become disoriented, as you start stepping closer, you notice out of the corner of your eye a tendril of blackness wraps around your friend, and then kind of, starts taking over him. And then as you draw closer and closer, the guy looks at you and says, "This is where everything ends yet begins." And then more tendrils of shadow wrap around your body as he leans in and bites down on your neck, and you can definitely feel the blood as it rushes down the front of your shirt, and you can hear your friend muffling more and more in the background. And as everything starts to fade and go darker and darker, you notice that that darkness gets completely pitch black. And as you're fading into darkness, the last thing that you notice is that you get an extreme feeling that in this darkness, something is watching you. And welcome to Clan La Sombra.
Woo! Glad to be here.
What do you think?
Wow.
What do you think?
That was pretty cool description, or I don't know. So I'm currently in this blackness, absolute.
Yes, and you are dead. You
Oh.
are dead, and you will be coming back to life, of course. So you have just met your sire, who has killed your friend and embraced you in frickers.
Do most Lasombras do that in Frickers or?
Oh, actually, most Lasombra just don't care. They'll
Oh,
do it
okay.
anywhere, really. They usually have it set up ahead of time. Like everybody there works for him or is ghouled to him, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, he was playing chess with you for a long time, and then this is checkmate. Okay, so back over to Pizzapopolis. Um, let's see here. Alexander, you are with your girlfriend, and yeah, the guy fascinated with what you're saying, and he gets up and just walks straight over to the table, and just kind of sits down, just straight sits down at the table with you and
Uh,
looks at you.
I would look at him back, obviously. And by the way, the law I was talking about, it was the criminal justice reform. Defund police, reduce oppression, and all that stuff. That was my gist at the moment. And I looked at him like, "Yeah, good evening, pal. Can I help you?" I'm a bit taken
Uh,
back by
you
this.
know what?
I'm not impolite. I'm just surprised.
Like, yeah, I was listening to what you had to say. I like your passion behind what you have to say.
Well, thanks. I'm happy to hear encouraging words. It's, well, as I was telling to my girlfriend, and actually I point to Emma, that's pretty much how I feel about things, and I like, putting things out in the open. I'm not, I don't like the whole cloak and dagger thing. I mean, if it's bad, and I'll lay it out for people to know. I'm kind of getting a bit passionate again. I'm trying not to ignore Emma. I'm looking between them. I'm smiling to her. I'm looking to him. Not exactly smiling, but
Uh-huh.
it's happy to find a potential fan of my work. So
He's like, he says, yeah, I agree. You don't come across people like you every day. But when you do, you know that there's something special about him, and you just gotta kind of hold tight about it. And as he's talking, your girlfriend looks over and is kind of also fascinated by what he has to say. And then he turns and looks at her and says, "Run now." And your girlfriend gets up and straight up in the biggest, widest-eyed fear runs straight out of Pizzapopolis.
I
Hank,
yeah, sorry.
Hank, you catch it? Uh, yeah, yeah,
I look at him like I'm about to say, "What the hell, man? What the hell?" That's obviously now I'm offended. I mean, he just made my girlfriend run away. This is completely
yeah.
uncool.
And then he turns and looks at you and says, "Calm the fuck down." And suddenly you're emotionally completely just calmed, and this guy is the best thing you've ever seen. You are just absolutely fascinated with him. And then he just says, "This debate will continue right after we do this." And then he reaches over the table and grabs you by the neck, pulls you over the table, spilling all of the drinks and all of the pizza everywhere. And then he just straight grabs your arm with an almost just bear like strength, and it's just his hand. And he bites into your shoulder. And as you feel the blood uh, gushing all over the table, and you can see it, but it's also the best feeling you have ever had in your life. It's amazing. It's the best feeling you've ever known. And then slowly and surely, things start to go dark, and the room almost starts to spin. And the whole time, you are just thankful and feeling very thankful that this is occurring as everything goes blacker and blacker and blacker. And then the last thing you notice before everything goes black is a voice that just says, "Yes, the truth is out there." And welcome to Clan Brujah.
Woo!
You just got you just got embraced into the learned side of Clan Brujah. You found the guy who loves to debate, and he's now your sire. What do you think?
Well, it's a good choice. I think that would actually fit Alexander pretty well. And yeah, the learned side of the Bruja is the one I've always found interesting. So
Me too. And it's one I've never got a chance to roleplay much, and I don't see it roleplayed, honestly enough. Because a lot of people just tend to forget that Bruja are really, really, really social too, and passionate about whatever cause they're on at the moment. So they can actually just like shift a cause on a dime. And that's just how the Bruja are. Some debate with their words, others debate with their fists. You know? That's the clan. All right, Hank.
All right. Am I on
So,
yeah.
you're going, yeah, you go ahead and go to the bathroom and start doing your, whatever. You wash your
Mhm.
hands and you start coming out. And when you walk out, that girl is standing like right at the door.
Oh,
And she just takes her hand and puts it on your chest and just shoves you back into the bathroom. And
I go
she,
like, oh, whoops.
she's about, huh?
I just do a quip about usually I'm the bouncer, miss.
Right. And she's like, not now. And then the thing is that you notice is that as she's pushing you back, her strength, because she's about 5'3", bit of
Yeah.
nothing, right? Uh, she kind of hits you like a Mack truck, all right?
Yeah.
And then just really suddenly you are just slammed up against the wall, all right? In just like literally the blink of an eye. And she immediately just savagely bites the front of your neck and starts to tear out your larynx almost, and you start to gurgle, and you can feel the blood going everywhere, and then things getting blacker, but it also is like, this is better than your wife has ever felt in your life. This is better than the best food. It's like, this is the most awesome thing. One of your weird fantasies, being with a weird big titty goth girl in the bathroom, and then everything starts going blacker and blacker, and then everything fades away, and the last few things you hear is, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I didn't mean to kill him," and then everything goes to black.
Cool.
You're a Katif now, and your sire just flipped nuts.
Cool.
You her kill.
She was on me like a post-it stamp.
There you go, man. Yeah, a little bit of celerity and potence.
Yes.
Right on. So then. Hello?
No, we don't hear you anymore. You're cutting out.
All right.
All right.
Here you go. What was the last thing you heard there, Yante?
That I'm arcative and that she's used celerity and potence, was it?
Oh yeah. Okay. So what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, awesome. Great.
All right. So yeah, from this point, it's like you've got at least the kind of framework and beginning understanding to kind of start crafting things. From there, it gives you a nice little skeleton, to work out the stories. So you can take this kind of little embrace story, and work backwards and forwards up until, whenever you
I think Discord died again for you.
Looks like it. We've been plagued by connection issues on our storyteller side. So.
my back.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. What does everybody think? Kind of like I said, you got the skeleton, for a background, and enough to go on to build from. So what does everybody think? Unmute your mics, speak openly.
Yeah, so I guess Alexander would probably continue forward. I just need to find a game to put him in. An actual
Okay.
game where I'll finish fleshing out his vampire side. And from there we'll continue with him. I just need to find a good game where he would fit in. So.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll set up a table. Like I said, I've got a couple spaces open. So just let me know, and I'll either fit you in or just make a new table and start grabbing as many people as I can.
All right, and of course we can keep playing in Toledo. I don't mind. It's fun.
Yeah, every one of my games is based in Toledo, and the three different sects, the Camarilla, the Anarchs, and the Sabbat, those games affect each other. So it's like when you enter one of my games, you're actually playing throughout the city of Toledo with other players, story-wise. So what you guys do
So a quick
affects
question,
the story of the other
story-wise.
game. Huh?
So like story-wise, our sires who just turned us are also found in your other games based in Toledo.
Well, they won't be players, but yes, the NPCs, a lot of that. What I basically did is just take my LARP for Toledo and scale it down to a tabletop. And I'm just running it the same way, just in tabletop. And because I've run, a large scale worldwide game on that scale, I know how to make all the pieces work, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are the vampire games I am running right now. And anytime one of the tables fills up, I just add another one. Yeah.
Okay, that
Do you
sounds
want me
good.
to make an overseas?
Well, I mean,
You want me to? I'll make an.
I would love to continue with Alexander, time permitting, of course.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can set up a overseas time like 1 noon, or let's say 1 o'clock my time, around there, which would make it like 6 or 7 y'all's time.
Yeah,
So it'll be an
8 for
evening
me
thing.
because I'm GMT
Okay.
+2, but doesn't matter.
Then I'll set up a table and post it in the Discord, a link for you to go ahead and follow.
Yeah, just tag us and I'll keep it in mind.
Will do. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'd love to play with you guys. Everybody else, I mean, seriously, what do you think? Thoughts, ideas, anecdotes? What do you guys think? Yante, Gangrel.
Yeah. So I was looking to do a one shot only because.
Oh, do what you want. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
like I said, this is, I was just mostly answering that for him, and if anybody's
Okay.
curious,
Yeah.
yeah, no pressure, man. No, this game is about, I want everybody to get interested in the game. That's
Yeah.
that's why I do this, because one, I love running the game, and I also really love introducing people to it. Yes.
Yeah. It was good.
So what do you think, Hank?
It was a good introduction. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. You got a little taste of the world and the flavor, a little
Yeah.
bit, just a little morsel.
Yeah. I know what the Toledo mud hens are now, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. And look up Tony Paco's hot dogs. There you go. Packos. Tony Paco's.
Awesome.
And you'll see they'll have pictures of the hot dog buns. And then you guys can also look up Pizzapopolis. Yes, it is
Yeah.
a real place.
Well, whenever
I
I
love.
get across the pond, I'll probably stop by in Toledo and try Pizzapopolis.
There you go,
And,
man.
and hopefully
And
not get embraced.
I know, yeah. And then you can drive about 3, 4 blocks, go over the river, and go from Pizzapopolis to Tony Paco's. Yeah. So you can like literally, just drive up a little bit and see both famous places.
Sounds good.
One thing that people, I didn't notice it, but somebody pointed out to me, like they just looked up a address in a place that I described on Google Maps, and they were able to find it, and I described it exactly the way it was, and they freaked out. They said, dude, this is a Google Maps. And he showed us, and it was like, wow, cool. So yeah. I don't know, little bits of stuff. I really like the direction the game is going in, and a lot of the stuff they've set up. And I really, for me, I always go by the will of the group, and only take it as dark, as the group wants, if that makes sense. So yeah, Gangrel, what are your thoughts, man?
It was a really nice introduction to this world. It was really nice trying to feel out how to interact with the system and the story that you introduced. It was really nice to experience it, and I would like to also maybe continue exploring this character, maybe filling out the details more to make him more. Well, I won't say human, but a full character who has a story. But I don't know about currently starting work with him. But the thought is definitely in my head now.
The impression I got out of the whole embrace went. Okay, the La Sombra embrace was pretty typical, I suppose, but the Brujah embrace in an open pizza, basically pizza joint, was very unexpected. I would assume they would be a bit more discreet, but I guess this guy doesn't exactly care, or he is either a very, you know, not so hush hush anarch, or maybe even the bad side, aka Sabat, but he could be anything really. It was interesting to see because usually I'd expect vampires to be a bit more discreet.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I was. I'll say again what I said, Eric. So what I said was
I'm
the
sorry about that.
yeah, no worries. The embrace was very unexpected. Bruja embracing in the middle of a pizza restaurant. That's I would expect maybe, well, I don't know if Sabat still do still the shovel head thing, but this was very very out in the open. So he gave me the vibe of an anarch, or well, he could have been either really. I lean
Uh,
anarch or
yeah,
Sabat, but yeah, that's my personal impression.
yeah, more or less, I have a NPC in the Anarchs who's the learned Bruja, and yeah, he does stuff like that. But that's also just like I said, a little bit of the story, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because I mean we can extend that to we can talk about like maybe what his cause is. Maybe he was a Marxist or something, whatever kind of passionate thing that he just wants to talk about. And you guys sit there and crazy debate each other, that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And then, like I said, you expand the relationship from there. Like I said, that's just a little slice, that moment where, yeah, uh, he could he could have set that entire place up, uh, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly
Or
like
yeah,
how the groups are, the sects are in Toledo, but it looks like the Anarchs have a pretty strong presence.
it's pretty even, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is just kicking off. Everybody, all the coteries are more or less set. The Sabbat, the way they are now, is very different from the way they were. And when I say they are more, they de-evolved, I mean they have de-evolved.
Okay.
They are not, they are not human anymore. They don't think like humans. They don't want to be human. They won't claim a clan. I mean, and now they are at active war with the antediluvians.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the way the Sabbat kind of is that they're on a holy mission put out by Cain to destroy and consume the antediluvians so that they can be one, close to Cain, and two, uh, uh, carry out Cain's vengeance on the antediluvians. And the thing is, so they're on this like holy mission. They're kind of like superheroes. They think that they're the heroes of the tale and that everything that they're doing is correct. And they follow different paths instead of thinking like humans. So a pack, I mean, yeah, there's no bishops and holding territory. They're terrorist cells basically, sprouted all over the place.
Okay.
And they'll pop up and disappear, just because that's what they do now. So they're entirely bestial in different ways. But the thing is that a lot of people don't realize is they're right, and they might actually be the only ones who might be able to win it.